Hello and welcome to episode 38 of WP Café with me, Keith Devon.
And with me, Mark Wilkinson. Happy New Year, everybody, and Merry Christmas, I guess. Although you probably said that before, I'm not after. But
yeah, it feels a
Happy
bit
New
late
Year.
for Merry Christmas, but Happy New Year for sure. Yeah.
It feels a bit late for Happy New Year, to be honest. It seems like I've been saying it for the last week, as you usually do. But yeah.
Do you know what, though? I was thinking about this the other day, that for someone that hates small talk, I hate small talk.
Yeah.
I don't do just like casual chit chat banter. I'm rubbish at it. Things like New Year are great because like I meet other parents in the playground. I'm like, oh, Happy New Year. How was it? What did you get? And I've got something to talk about.
You've got some pre-built small talk. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly that. So yeah, thank you for things like New Year's and stuff like that for giving me some small talk for once a year. Anyway, I digress.
Hey ho. Right, let's get into today's show. We have got some things to talk about, which is nice. Before we do, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, we'd really appreciate it if you did that. And if you like this video, you probably don't like it yet because I haven't really got into it. But if you do,
I like it.
like
it. Just like it.
And if you want to get notified when there are new videos on the channel, you will get somehow a notice. 1, 2, 3, 4 different topics to look at today. And a little bit of work I was doing yesterday with custom fields and blocks. So we can talk about that as well. So let's get into that first topic.
Yep. Got a couple of questions too, I was just going to say. And if anyone has any further questions, please add them to the comments. And when I say add them to comments, I'm talking about YouTube comments because I know some people are listening to this as a podcast, which is great. But if you do want to kind of join in the kind of live show and get your chat to us in kind of real time, the place to do that is on YouTube.
Yes. Sorry, if you are listening on the podcast, then you can ask us questions. You can do it on Twitter. We are WP Cafe Show.
Excellent.
We'll try and include them.
Yeah.
So this first topic, the title that I've written in the notes is "Care About the Stuff Your Clients Care About." And this was a conversation we had. Well, I guess we've had it multiple times, but it came up again yesterday, wasn't it? In that we have a client who was wanting us to make some changes to their website. We were installing some software on the site and styling it up to match the sort of theme of the site, etc. And the stuff that they care about, it just came up was because they were quite pedantic about a list and how it looked, which was kind of like, nudging things a few pixels left and right and so forth. And it just got us thinking that like the stuff that we care about when you do a build is not necessarily what they care about. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Or should we both be aligned? Maybe. So the question there is, should we forget about the stuff that we care about and only care about the stuff that our clients care about? Because if we fulfill those needs, then they'll be happy. Or do we try and do the opposite and make our clients care about the stuff that we care about? Or is there a middle ground in the middle where there's a happy medium? I don't know.
I don't know if it's a middle ground. I think it's more almost that we need to care about both things equally, because part of our job is to care about what they care about, because our lives, we're trying to make their lives better in some way. That's why they're paying us money. And it would obviously help us with sales and marketing and blah, blah, blah. If we just were inside their brains, like knowing what their kind of desires and problems and what's keeping them up at night, and if we knew all that stuff, like I'll be gold dust. So I think we should definitely pay attention to things that they care about from that point of view. But also I feel like it's kind of part of our job to care about things that they don't care about, because they don't necessarily know about, and they don't know the kind of repercussions of those things, and they can't be expected to. So I think we're almost like protecting them from a kind of whole world that they kind of don't want to know about and don't have the capacity for. And it's our job to care about that stuff. And we'll never get the credit for it, maybe, but we'll kind of help our clients avoid potential disaster or like some kind of, I don't know, something that might trip them up.
Yeah. We had one client today, wasn't it? They're like rebranding and they want to change the URL website.com, that it's not hard, but the repercussions of that are big because things like URL, they don't care about that stuff. It's a good example of what you just said. Like we need, so yeah, I think there's a bit of a balance between both, but just something to think about that came up. It's an important thing to keep in your mind. Like, what do your clients care about?
That specific example, though, it did make me laugh because, you know, the website that we're working on, we haven't built the website. We're just integrating a job board for them. And the website does not look great. Let's just put it like that. Like it's not pretty. There's a lot visually wrong with it. And the requests that come back are, you know, can you nudge this thing over to the sides very, very slightly? And it's just like, and I think that's where it came up, wasn't it? It's like, why do you care about something so small, but you don't care about the fact that the whole site is a trash can of design ideas? Like, I don't know. Yeah, that just maybe not. So I think we need to care about things about the positioning of bullet lists in a very particular way. So I don't think that's going to change. But yeah.
But I think a good example with that is like, to which we're kind of in now, is like everyone loves the hero background videos, don't they?
Yeah.
They're like, I've seen that now, go away. They're not particularly performant, etc., etc. But actually, our clients really care about them. They love them. They look cool. So actually, we probably should engage more with how we can make those work rather than kind of almost trying to dismiss them as not a good idea. Because actually, they love them. So like, we should try and make them work and give them
maybe
solutions to the client.
Maybe some of our promotions, so it may as well be us. Like, and we might even figure out a way to make it more performant.
Yeah. Okay. Good. That's that one. There's a couple of people in the comments suggesting that the video is keeping pausing.
It's going to be my feed, unfortunately.
Probably Keith's internet connection because he's on a sort of like a mobile hotspot thing, isn't it? But so I don't think there's a lot of things we can do about that, I'm afraid. We will
apologies.
Hold on and see if we can get through it. New Year's resolutions is the next one.
You got any?
Not really. I don't really like them, to be honest.
Didn't think so.
I'm not really a goals person and a resolutions person, but I did post on LinkedIn. I think there was 3 things I was going to do this year that was to try and improve: was to drink less alcohol, drink more water, and play more golf. Essentially, that was the 3 things.
Are you feeling particularly dry?
Dry?
Dehydrated.
All right. No, I just don't think I drink enough water during the day. I drink lots of coffee, but not a lot of water or like juice, you know. So I think I do need to work on that, which is something I should look at. And we should all drink less alcohol, probably. So.
Have you set anything up to help you achieve those goals, or have you just set it and hope it happens?
It depends what you mean. I set anything up. Like, what would I set up? Well, the answer is clearly no. Because
okay, so for me, I have a few. I'm in like pretty poor physical shape at the minute because I've got like a back issue that I'm currently having diagnosed. So I haven't been able to go running or cycling, which are my like 2 favorite things. And I do a lot of sitting around now. So I've got a goal to go walking every day. And I've got a goal to do some stretches every day. And to help me achieve those goals, I downloaded an app called Streaks, which is just like helps you just like say, I've done this today. I've done this. It's kind of gamifies the whole, you're on a streak of X number of days. You know? So it's that. I'm also trying to do some meditation, some mindfulness meditation again, because every time I do that, it really, really helps. And I always just fall off the wagon eventually and stop. So I need to get back into that. So that's one of my streaks, is to meditate for 5 minutes a day. That's kind of it for me personally. Gonna learn how to DJ. Bought myself a Christmas present. Yeah.
Very good.
So, but professionally, have you got any, like, I think we briefly touched on this in the last show, but like, have you got anything that you kind of want to do or achieve? Has anything changed since our last show?
No, not really. I don't think. Not since the last show. Yeah, not since the last show.
Cool.
Have we any questions before we go on to the next topic?
Yeah, we do.
Might be a good time to take them.
I'll stick one up on the screen and I'll read it out for those listening. From Tony Gerling. Any views on the comment from Matt Mullenweg about the theme builder theme, which will eliminate the need for any other themes? It's a lot of themes, or no themes, depending how you look at it. Any
so
thoughts?
I actually haven't seen this announcement until I read this comment, but I do think themes are fundamentally changing. Part of me thinks we don't really need a theme anymore, because the theme was presenting the content, and that's kind of done with blocks and theme JSON. I know it's theme JSON. So, like, what you probably are going to do, a theme can technically just kind of be a bit of CSS, really, maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
So I get the concept that themes are going to change from what they were to something new, or we're not going to need themes, and the stuff that we want to customize is going to be done somewhere else, I think.
Yeah. Okay, so let me put it to you like this. So you download WordPress, you grab a bunch of plugins to cover some of the functionality that you need, and you want it to look good. What do you do next?
A good look.
Yeah, but
What do you do next?
A serious question without themes, like what? How do you make WordPress?
I actually did this recently.
Or different, or?
So I have a dev site that I wanted to. If you follow me on Twitter, you'll see that I post lots of like snippets of code and things. And I thought, instead of just sticking them all on GIS, I should put them somewhere so someone can reference them. So I was going to try and create a section on my dev website about this. So I kind of started from fresh. I installed 2023. Now, yes, it's a theme, but it's very plain. And then how do you start editing it? You start editing with the site editor and setting colors and setting things and so forth. And that's you're not doing that in the theme. You're doing that inside of WordPress in the site editor. So the theme isn't really like needed for that, I don't think. I can't see how it is. So I think that's where I see the themes not really being needed anymore. What do they actually do? I'm not sure.
Well, where do you put theme.json?
Well, exactly. You need
or
somewhere
your custom, and do you not need CSS anymore? Like
well, in theory,
CSS
no.
anymore? I'd say in theory you definitely do. I'm writing a lot of CSS, and we're trying to use full site editing. And I'm having to write a lot of CSS.
Okay, well,
to make designs look the way I want them to look. Otherwise, you just can't do it. Like I can't.
But that doesn't need to be in a theme.
Where does it go?
I don't know.
But it is a theme.
It like to be the theme.
It's not the themes of old, but it's still a theme. Like you're still theming something, as in adding a visual style to something. Whether like it's not the mechanism it used to be. That's for sure. But there still needs to be a way.
But you still want this concept of like I'm creating this design, and then in the future I might want to change that design to something else and like switch it.
But yes, maybe, but not necessarily that. Like some people just want to say, okay, I've got an idea for a business or a website or whatever. I'm going to spin up WordPress. I'm not a designer. I want it to look nice. Like they need somewhere to go. Like what is it if it isn't a theme? I don't understand. Like, are we asking everybody to design a website from scratch every time they load up WordPress? We're clearly not asking them to do that. Like that isn't the vision of the future. But this is why I don't understand this whole themes are dead idea. They can't be. Like Squarespace is full of themes. Wix is full of themes. Everybody in the recruitment space offers themes. They might call them templates. They might call them design choices. But they're themes.
So themes they're going to change. That's all. Then is what we're saying.
Yeah.
Like historically, your themes contained all your template files, and your template files contain markup, which was then used to render the content. They don't do that. They don't need to do that anymore. So
I'd argue that
all they're doing is design, essentially.
I'd argue that they still should do that, though. Like we're designing a theme for a client at the minute, and I need somewhere to put the patterns and things.
Yes.
That that we're designing that like work as a kind of coherent whole. I need those to go somewhere. Like, okay, I could put them in plugins. I guess I could, or build them directly in the site editor and save them somewhere. But if you wanted to pass that on to somebody else, you need to be able to package that up somehow.
Yep.
I don't know.
Agreed.
I just yeah. Anyway, that I was expecting us to not have much to say on that particular question, but there you go. Went off on a little rant. Apologies.
Any others?
Yes. Next question. What's the weather like there? From Alex.
The weather in the north of England, if I look outside the window, is blue skies with a bit of cloud and sunshine. It was raining this morning, though.
Nice.
And it's about 9 degrees, I think.
What's it like where you are? Glorious sunshine this morning. It is now grey, but bright enough and not raining. So I'll take that as a win.
There you go.
Right. Next question. Let's do a little question segment. From Bharat Kumar. What would you recommend to build an efficient membership-based website in WordPress? I have no idea because we haven't done it.
Yeah, I really couldn't answer that question because we've not done it. I've never done a membership site.
There are some big players in the membership space.
Yeah, definitely.
Probably just go with one of them. I don't know. I can't even remember what they are anymore. It's been that long since I even looked at membership plugins. I don't know what's around. So sorry, Bharat. I don't think we can help you with that. But good luck and let us know how it goes.
Definitely.
Okay, here's one. Falco Joseph. Would love to hear your thoughts about React and native block development. I've recently started learning it, and the sky is pretty much the limit once you figure out how to build blocks natively. Marcus is, well, it's for both of us, but you have some particular experience, and this is probably a nice segue into our next topic.
So what is my thoughts on React and native block development? Are it's hard, it's painful, and I usually just do it some different way. It's essentially the honest answer to that. And yes, you're right. Once you know what you're doing, the sky's the limit. But I think that's the case in most things. Once you know what you're doing, you can do stuff that you couldn't when you didn't know. If that makes sense. But yeah, as listeners would know, we've been following a course about building blocks natively using React and whatever other stuff you use to do them with, and it's been really good. Well, I've learned lots, but it's still really hard. Like it's going to take a lot of time to get familiar, to get comfortable, and to get like what's the word I'm looking for? Like you don't have to look it up every time. You just kind of know what you're doing. And actually, I don't build enough blocks to get to that stage. I don't think. So that's my experience. It's not easy. It's not easy. Yeah. What about you, Keith? You've been doing the same course.
Yeah, I found it really hard, just because my base JavaScript skills are not good enough, and I'm getting into React before I'm learning to run before I can walk. Basically, that's really how it felt.
Yeah,
I was in nappies with JavaScript, and now I'm trying to run a 100-meter sprint. It's not going very well. But like you, I was surprised at how far we did get. But I felt the wall was like right in my face very quickly. I was like, oh, this is great. I can do this. Oh, I can't do anything else. It's just not that I can't. It's just it would take a long time, and it would It's I don't have the headspace, and I don't know if I've even got the intelligence for it, to be honest. It's tricky stuff. It's tricky stuff.
I feel a bit the same, to be honest.
Yeah.
I feel a bit the same.
Good question, though. Thanks, Falco.
Yeah.
Do you want to take any more questions, or do you want to jump into that little bit of block development that you did try last night?
Yeah, I can do. It was kind of linked to that.
Yeah.
So we're building a recruitment site, as Keith just mentioned, and we wanted to have a job archive page. So essentially, it's the job listings page on the site. And with the full site editing, you can obviously build up that page in full site editing using the query loop block. And inside that, we wanted to output the job title, the excerpts, and then some taxonomy term data, so for the job industry and job type, etc. And all that was possible with the block editor, which was great. It provides blocks for like custom taxonomies for outputting the terms and things like that, like it does for categories and tags. But one of the things was the job location, and that was a piece of metadata, post meta, saved against the job post. And there isn't a block to output anything in terms of like a custom field or metadata. So I was like, well, I could just build a block. I could build a block that either just outputs that particular piece of metadata, or why not build a block where you can just type in the meta key that you want to output and it will output it. So I thought, well, I can do this now. I know what I'm doing. I've built blocks before and so forth. So I went to start it up again and just found myself like completely forgotten how to get started. So I had to go back to the course, which is great. What do I do? Oh, yeah, it's that command, isn't it? You know, whatever it is, at WordPress, create block, blah, blah. And then got started with that. And then just kept running into like hurdles and hurdles and hurdles that was just, and this is just something that's just so simple. Like I just wanted to have a block where you put something in a box and it outputs something, essentially. And it took me like 4 hours last night. And I was just like pulling my hair out at the end of it. So I just gave up with the block and I just thought, how else could I do this? So my solution in the end was to use a paragraph block where you essentially type a placeholder text in a paragraph box. So like job location or replaced with job location. And then you give it a custom class. And then I just use the render block filter to basically detect that custom class to say, hey, this is my location block, essentially. It has this class. And then output the metadata in that way. And it actually works really well. It's obviously not great in the editor because you don't actually see the value. But as it's in the archive loop, it's not really going to be changed that much. I'd hazard to guess that the client isn't even going to change it. So it's probably not something they're going to see. So yeah, I mean, that's how I went about doing it. Again, I failed and gave up with the native block method and just went back to PHP because it works.
Why didn't you just do a shortcode?
Could have, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is the answer to your question? I don't know why I didn't do shortcode. Could have done.
So, I mean,
because there's a block for that.
There's a block for it's not necessarily better. Does it only work with the paragraph block? Does yours look for a paragraph block as part of its?
It does, because the render block filter I've used is specific to the paragraph block. But you could just use the generic render block function that would look on any block.
Yeah. Here's a good question from Dean. Why not an ACF block?
Could certainly have done it with ACF. I think we want to reduce our reliance on ACF, really. That's part of the reason. But could have done it with ACF for sure. No reason not to. If you've got all the blocks on the site with ACF, then why not?
Yeah, I don't think we want to install ACF just for that, do we? But maybe.
I didn't really want to install that just to do this. But if I had all the blocks, then that would have been my first port of call for sure.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, interesting.
It would have taken me about 20 minutes.
So if someone who's good at block development wants to create a meta block, that'd be awesome.
I'm kind of surprised that they haven't got one, but then I know meta is quite unique in that it's not exposed by default in the REST API, which is where Gutenberg kind of gets its data from.
Yeah.
So I know it's not quite straightforward as you think.
Yeah.
Whereas taxonomy terms are, and that's probably why there's blocks for those, because they're always there unless you sort of say they're not, and then they won't be. So
yeah, interesting stuff. Well, I thought it was a very clever solution anyway, and it works. It works pretty well. But yeah, it would have been obviously even better if we could have made that a block. But there you go. We will try again in the future, I'm sure. I think that's a good place to wrap up. We are over the 25-minute mark. We try to keep these shorter than that. But we had a few good topics and a few good questions. So thank you very, very much for sending in your questions today. as always, and a second reminder, please do subscribe. Please do hit the bell icon. That makes a massive difference to basically how successful this show is. And we'd love to keep doing this because we actually really enjoy it. We enjoy it 10 times more when there's people interacting with us and asking questions and leaving comments. So thank you so much for people that do that. We really appreciate it. And anything else to add, Mark, before we sign off?
No, same time, same place, next week.
See you then.
Bye-bye.